So I was looking at the strategic reserves mainly from a national security risk, but there's also the risk of, that the poor government employee who's in charge of the stockpile getting kidnapped or his family kidnapped, under threat if you don't provide the private key or the access to this. But from a national security standpoint, and specifically in the United States, there was an initial proposal to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. And that's what this was about. There's some other discussions of adding other tokens to it. But my article is about the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And
for context for international listeners, this was off the back of the executive order that says...
So I actually wrote this before the election when it was just a campaign promise of President Trump said, I'm going to have a Bitcoin strategic reserve. All the seized cryptos, we're going to hold on to those and have it as a strategic reserve. So I kind of also unpack, what is a strategic reserve? We normally think of oil or
like petroleum
gold,
and gas,
something like that. So trying to understand what does that even mean. And then once he was elected president, there was the executive order making that an official move that the U.S. wants to do. But I wanted to understand what is a strategic reserve. That's not something I normally deal with, but I do deal with cryptocurrency, trying to understand the interplay between those. And something that's concerned me for a while is if it's a Bitcoin strategic reserve, we talk about the decentralization of Bitcoin, but those are different computers that are running nodes and doing validating. But the same 1 or 2 or 3 companies make all of those chips. So it's very centralized of who is making those chips, and especially what country that the United States does not always get along with is the source country of those chips.